So good morning. Now I'm back in the command center. Am I all switched on? Yeah. And I have some more questions. Now I don't know if people like these questions. Some people seem to like them. But before we get to the questions, let me pull out this life support device. Gosh. Ooh. It's like a drug. And okay, so question time. Right. Question one. What do I think to all the YouTube watch drama? Now, I think that is referring to. What that question relates to is, I'm assuming it's TPG, the Timepiece gentleman Anthony Farrer, and he's a guy that I think he was incarcerated. He went to prison, and he came out, set up a watch YouTube thing, and then was very successful in terms of people watching his channel. And he was selling watches on the grey market, and he was spending people's money, and I don't know the details, but basically he's been compromised. I think the FBI then got him because he was caught spending and using other people's property. And I watched something on YouTube just recently where he might have even done time spent, so he might be coming out of prison in the States. But I imagine that his name in the watch dealing world isn't very good. But I was thinking to myself the other day, if he came back on YouTube, I imagine that would be interesting to know what on earth he's doing. And could he get back into selling wristwatches? I've no idea. I would find the fact that he's back on YouTube and he's watch dealing very interesting. And I bet you some people would give him a third chance. And I find that interesting. Now, the other thing that people might be referring to when you talk about watch drama is Paul Thorpe. I don't think it's a watch drama. Paul Thorpe has he's a former watch dealer, and he's got a very successful YouTube channel now talking about political issues, mainly in the UK. But I think the things that he talks about are relevant around the world, in Europe in particular. And he seems to be very popular on YouTube for his political views now. And I think he's decided not to do watch content anymore, which I don't know. I quite liked what he said about being a watch dealer, and some of the videos he did on wristwatches. I thought they were pretty good. I think a few people fell out with him, or some people didn't like him, that sort of thing. But if you're on YouTube, that's always going to happen. And the other watch drama, Hodinkee. I used to watch Ben Clymer and Hodinkee, and I did find Ben Clymer's chats with celebrities and that sort of thing, really quite cool. And I'm not sure that he does that anymore, or maybe he does. But the chap that plays John Mayer, he did one recently with Ed Sheeran. I did watch that video, and I thought that was really cool. I thought John Mayer was a natural on camera, actually. I thought he'd be great interviewing people because he has a very nice nature. I thought the interview was great. And I thought Ed Sheeran was really good. I mean, that was a knockout video. And I think that was on Hodinkee. Are Hodinkee doing that now? I'm not sure. I always thought that they'd become a vendor and they were selling watches rather than talking about them. Or maybe they were doing journalistic pieces about watches as well. I do not know. But I saw what's his name, the consultant, the time consultant. Oh, Jory Goodman. I watched one of his videos, and I was laughing my head off. I thought Jory Goodman's. I think he's crazy. He is really. I did find it really funny. I don't think he likes Hodinky, or maybe he does, and he's just playing. I don't know. But there is a bit of watch drama on YouTube, I must admit, now I'm thinking about it. But what do I think about it? I think it's probably good. I think it's good for business, because in the advertising business world, no news, or bad news is good news if people are talking about it. I think anything that brings a little bit of sensationalism to issues or wristwatches is pretty cool. For example, when I completely attack thin watches and little watches, I imagine some people might say, "Hey, I like this. You're wrong. You're an idiot." I mean, I will probably agree with them, actually. I don't really dislike them that much, although I do dislike them. You shouldn't get a thin watch, and you shouldn't get a thin watch that's 38 millimeters with a 24 millimeter strap width. Don't do that. And why do brands do that? Why is that a thing? Anyway, you've got me going there on a rant. Okay, next question. What do I think to watch hype? I think I've mentioned that in the first question. I think watch hype is cool. I really like it. When I wear a G watch, when I wear a G-Shock, that is hype. I am hyping the thing to the outer atmosphere, and I think it's really cool. If I was watching me, I'd be buying a G-Shock or a Richard Mille, or a watch like that, because I'd seen my video. I think it's cool. I love watch hype. What is my favorite clothing brand? I can tell you, my favorite clothing brand is Leclerc or Aldi. They are supermarkets in France. Aldi actually is German, but I find that the clothing range at Leclerc is cool. Everything seems very well priced. They seem to have everything, and I think Leclerc should pay me to model their clothing, and Aldi, because everything I wear these days is from a supermarket. In the UK, we have Sainsbury's, and their clothing range is TU, and I do model their stuff. But saying that, if Armani or Louis Vuitton or Hugo Boss or any of those brands want to have a chat with me about supplying me with their apparel, their clothing, I'm more than happy to do that. I can give you my size and all that sort of thing. And also Nike and Adidas and Puma. Your trainers, I do like those. In fact, any brand out there that wants to associate themselves with very high end, I'm the person. Contact me and send me lots of items that I can try on and keep. Hype is good. Okay, and also my favorite clothing brand. I'm still answering that question. I find that I wear my old Timberland shoes that are probably 20 years old. I still wear them, and I think I'm on the one pair of Timberland shoes I have. I'm sure that the sole that they have is the fourth one. I've literally taken them back to the cobblers, and they are on the fourth resoling, and I'm sure if they're not 20 years old, they're definitely 15 years old. The Timberland, I like Timberland. I really do. Actually, and on a serious note, I like Armani. And years ago, when I had money, I used to buy Armani jeans because they fitted me perfectly. I mean, literally off the peg, they would fit, and they had the little eagle logo on the jean pocket, and that was the coolest thing ever on a pair of jeans. And I used to wear those with Ralph Lauren shirts. Ralph Lauren, I like Ralph Lauren. But I used to wear the Ralph Lauren shirt with a little Ralph Lauren logo. In fact, it was here actually, a little Ralphie horse and a polo player. That was cool. They were the good old days. And I thought I was the bee's knees wearing that sort of thing. Okay, what is my favourite food? Oh, good one. Curry. I actually make a mean curry myself, and I decided to learn how to make curries because I ate so many and they were costing a fortune to always buy takeaways. So I thought to myself, Stephen, you need to get a life, you need to work out what these people are doing, get hold of a recipe and get making curry. So today I make a very mean hot chicken tikka masala English version, and I make it with a lot of chilies, and it's basically like eating torture. It's very hot. I mean, you need milk and fresh cream with it, to cool down your mouth. It's ridiculous, but for some reason I like it. Maybe I'm a glut for punishment. Also, favourite food, I like meat, steak, meat and salad, and boiled potatoes, and chicken. So I like curry, steak, chicken, salad, boiled potatoes. And that's about, and I like croissant with cheese and ham and onion and tomato. And that's it. In fact, that's all I eat. So next question. My favourite type of watch. My favourite type of watch? Well, if you have to ask, I think you need to press pause here, open a tab, pull out Master Watch, and just randomly click on any video. And then you will be able to work out for yourself which watch type I like. And I recently spoke about an exit watch. Now, an exit watch means that once you've got that watch, that's it. You're out of the watch game because you're satisfied with your watch purchase or the watches that you have. And my exit watch today is the Casio G-Shock MRG-56 King that they haven't released yet, and I don't actually know if they're making it, but that would be my exit watch. I know it's an odd thing because it's a great big watch anyway, but the MRG treatment of the Casio G-Shock King would be my exit watch. Great big thing, LCD display, oversized, huge buttons, but the King, the part number is GXW or GXW denoting the multiband -56. And the minute I find out that Casio are releasing the MRG King, so the part number would probably be MRG-56D, denoting it has a bracelet, and MRG-56R, denoting a rubber bracelet. That would be my exit watch, because I think if I had that, for some reason I'd feel satisfied, and even Richard Mille would have a problem on their hands designing something that I want, because the only other watch that I really want is an RM05 or an RM11 in white gold or yellow gold, but probably white gold. I don't know if they do one in platinum, but it would be platinum if they do. And so these are the only watches that I really want. All the other watches I like, and of course I do want them, but the MRG King and a Richard Mille in white gold, those are the things that I really want. Okay, the next question is Richard Mille prices. Wow. Now, Richard Mille is an interesting brand, and I should talk about them at this point. because about 20 years ago, when Richard Mille first came to the market, I was really interested in them. And I remember Richard Mille sent me these A4 size photographs of the RMO1 up to the RMO5. I think they only had the 5 watches at that point in time. There might have been an RMO6, but I think that was it though. And I had these very nice quality photographs that were sent to me in some really nice packaging by Richard Mille. And I thought, this brand has come out of nowhere. These watches are completely strange. And the RM05 was £20,000. Can you believe it? And at the time, that was expensive, because I think the RMO5 in solid white gold was the cheapest one. So 20 years ago, you know, in the early 2000s, that was a real statement. That was, you know, a heck of a thing. And I was absolutely taken by Richard Mille. And I remembered I started saving up, thinking the RMO5 at 20 grand, I think it's worth it. But I didn't tell people I liked watches then. I really kept it quiet. Anyway, it was absolutely fantastic. I used to walk to Bond Street, and there was a dealer in Bond Street. I forget his name right now, but I would go in there and I would look at the Richard Milles that they had. They only had 1 or 2 pieces at the time, but I thought this was the coolest thing ever. And I thought they were expensive, but I thought there was a lot of value in the watches, and the fact that they were all precious metal, you know, really it impressed me. But this was when the prices were between £20,000 and about £50,000. So that would have been at the time, you know, maybe $25,000, $30,000 up to $70,000. And I thought, this is expensive, and you know, the edge of what's reasonable. And you know, so today those prices would be, you know, £30,000, £80,000, maybe $35,000, $100,000, and that would be right at the top, I think, of, for me, what I think is reasonable for a wristwatch. Today, going over $100,000, I think is just, it's too much for a wristwatch. Saying that, I understand why some wristwatches are more than that. I understand the value proposition. I understand what the brands are doing, and if there is a marketplace for them, that's totally fine. But for me, in my mind, a watch that goes over 100 grand is just too much. It doesn't really matter what the watch is, but $100,000, £100,000, in my mind, mentally, is the maximum price that you should be paying for a wristwatch. Maybe I'm wrong here. Maybe it's just me being wrong. So I do not know. Saying that, I understand $250,000 for a Richard Mille, and Richard Milles and Patek, you know, they hit the £1 million mark. But that is because there is a lot of value in them. They are very exclusive, and I understand the value there. But personally, for me, you know, going over 100,000 is way too much. You can get a lot for £100,000. Okay, one more question. What do I think about the grey market? Now, I think the grey market is cool and luxury bizarre. In fact, I was asked the other day what YouTube channels I watch, and I forgot to say Luxury Bazaar, because Roman Schaaf, Luxury Bazaar, I really like them. And because they've been going for years now, they're very straightforward, transparent, it seems to me. Roman Schaaf, I really like what he does on camera. I like how he talks about watches, and his partner, gosh, what's his name? Is it Alex? I forget his name right now, but I really like Luxury Bazaar. And I like those 3 guys that work for them. And I forget their names, but there's 3 guys that work for Luxury Bazaar that are there today. I really like them. So the grey market is providing a valid business to the watch industry because it obtains watches. They're high-end watches. They all seem to be, second-hand but unworn. So they're all in, fabulous condition. But also these higher-end watches, the grey market provides a solution for people that have bought these watches. They've grown out of them, or they simply have bought them and they no longer like them as much. So the grey market is very important to the watch industry, and I think it adds a lot of value to the watch industry and adds a lot of value to people that want to buy watches that maybe that watch no longer is available online. I mean, brand new. So the grey market is really important. It provides a fabulous service, and I think that the grey market always responds to the market values. I don't think that they crank up the price, or I don't think that the grey market inflate the price intentionally. I think they respond to the market. So if a grey market dealer has a watch and very quickly many people want to buy it, of course it becomes a buyer's market at that point in time, and taking the price to the highest bidder is just natural, normal business. That there's not really a problem in that, because the grey market will also reduce that price just as quick when the market no longer wants to pay that price for a watch. So I think the grey market is very good. And I think they simply just respond to the market. I don't think that they are intentionally trying to skew the market. Maybe some unscrupulous dealers have done that in the past. I can't imagine them doing that today, because the internet is a real leveler. It will very quickly, if you are charging too much for watches, I think you'll get found out very quickly, because no one was going to buy them from you. So the grey market's pretty cool. I think they're very good, and I think all the information that you need about a watch brand, you can probably find in the grey market. So if a watch brand is doing well, the grey market is going to indicate that. Or if a watch brand is not doing well with a particular model or branding or range of watches, the second-hand prices probably will indicate that as well. Not always, but they do. But long story short, that the grey market is very cool. Anyway, it's getting warm here. I'm going to finish my coffee, and at that I'm going to say ciao for now.